Have you ever looked out on the river, saw that and thought, I could do that?
Well, we're going to give it a go. I'm Sydney.
And I'm Izzy.
And this is PAL TV Learns to Row.
Regatta edition.
I'm in a boat. I'm joined today by UCBC's incoming women's captain, Georgie. Georgie, how are you feeling about teaching us to row today?
Very excited, bit nervous because we're probably going to fall in.
I don't like that outlook, Georgie.
And I'm here with UCBC's president, Rob. Rob, how likely are we to capsize?
On a scale of 1 to 10, say around about the 10 mark, probably. Yeah.
Yay!
Go.
Hold on to your blades.
Oh,
Push against me.
actually doing it. Push against you. Oh my god, he's actually pushing us out. Oh. My thingy facing the wrong way.
Yeah. Don't crash, Georgie. Right, yeah.
Okay.
Basically what I think Georgie's planning on doing, she's going to sit there and just balance the boat for Sydney. And then she's just going to go through the motions.
Okay, the thing she showed us earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great, so have you trained a lot of novice rowers before?
A few. So each year we run a novice training program.
Okay.
So we get all the freshers that want to sign up in Freshers Week. We often get kind of 60 sign-ups, which is quite a lot for a relatively small club.
Yeah.
They then have to do all their swim tests, so getting up at 6 a.m. on a generally Thursday morning, right after CCTV, which is always fun.
Lovely.
In about week 1 or 2 of term, they then have to do some swimming, do some treading water, all that kind of stuff, prove they won't drown, and then we shut them out in boats.
Wonderful. And do you have any novice horror stories?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Are you allowed to say any novice stories?
There are definitely some I probably shouldn't say.
Fair enough.
A lot of capsizes.
Okay,
A lot of people that just think, oh, I should let go of my blade. Boat flips in.
I see. Yes, I've been told that you have to keep hold of your blade at all costs because
Yeah.
that stops you from capsizing.
If you hold onto your blades, you won't capsize. Very simple.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to remember that. Wonderful. So tell me, why did you get into rowing? Did you sign up as a novice then?
So I rowed from school. So I
Okay.
I first started when I was about 14, 15. One of my friends used to row. He said, Rob, why don't you come along and just give it a go?
Yeah.
Went once, never looked back.
Wonderful. And what is it about rowing that you like so much?
I think there are two sides to it. First of all, kind of the early mornings, getting out on the water, lovely and still, especially on summer mornings, gorgeous sunrises, that side of things. And also the kind of sort of comradeship kind of side of it. Great team atmosphere, great socials. What more do you want?
Wonderful. Tell us about Georgie.
Right, Georgie is a fresher.
Wow.
I actually first met Georgie when she came to an open day, the year before she
Oh.
joined.
Wow.
But she rowed back at school, back at home club. She's got very involved in the women's side very quickly. Sort of going into second year as a women's captain is quite impressive.
Yeah.
And she's got some exciting plans next year. Hopefully we'll be on the up. for that.
Brilliant. Okay, and how is Castle Boat Club doing in the general scheme of things?
We have our highs and our lows.
Okay.
I think we went into this year very promising. Some great people from school, great schoolboy rowers, great sort of relatively experienced people coming in, great novice program. Aidan Haig, who ran our novice program this year, fantastic.
Yeah.
Sadly, a few crashes, some internal college politics haven't really
Oh no.
supported that this year. Yeah, I think going into next year, really positive.
Great. So we can just see them coming back over
Yeah.
now. If Sydney does try to row, could
we go.
you? Oh yeah.
Right, so she's going through the sort of arms, body, legs,
Yep.
then meant to be putting her blade in the water and pulling. Not quite managing that, but nearly.
Okay.
So she's done the arms are away,
Yep.
She's then gonna bend over
Yep.
in a second. Maybe.
Come on, Sydney.
Here we
Yes!
go. Legs, putting the blade in the water and pulling.
Woo!
That's
She
it.
did it! Yeah!
That's all there is to it. Coming forward, blade in the water and pulling.
Beautiful.
She's coming out square, then feathering.
Okay, good. So, how long would it take, you say, for Sydney to be regatta ready?
Regatta ready. I mean, when I learned to row, I raced my first race within about a month of learning to row.
Wow, okay. So, you're talking about your novice development program.
Yes.
So how many novices would you say are anybody who was trained as a novice competing in the Durham Regatta?
So Durham Regatta have they call it Maiden Fours.
Okay.
Which is an event entirely for novice college rowers who've only learned to row this year.
Okay, brilliant.
Which is always we often win it every kind of 2 or 3 years we tend to win that one.
Lovely,
But
okay.
it's at the end of the day, rowing is about trying to get lots of people involved in the sport. It's a really fun sport, and events like that are just focused at trying to build that engagement.
Wonderful, great, thank you.
How many minutes of this sort of just
Chatting, I don't know.
chatting are we going to throw in?
Till they
About
come
30
in.
seconds?
I don't know, yeah.
I have no idea at all.
Until they're perfect.
Until Sydney's learned to row like an Olympian.
Until they crash into that boat, actually, it looks like.
Yeah, Brown's boats are a pain in the arse.
Yeah, how do people often crash in?
All the time.
Okay.
They're also going the wrong direction.
Oh no. Oh yes, they are.
Yeah. Novices.
Dear oh dear. Right, so Sydney is rowing in. She's done a couple laps.
Looking quite good. Looking very good.
Oh, good. Okay. Can we comment on any technique?
Yeah, so she's coming forward. She's feathering in slightly, but she's getting the blade out nice and square.
Yep.
Then feathering it. Got decent sequencing, so the arms, body, legs is happening. She's not bending her legs before she's got her arms out.
Good.
It's looking really good. You know what? It's quite solid.
Wow, you seem
I'm
surprised. Well done, Sydney.
Shocked almost.
Wonderful.
Very fun, very scary, but very fun.
Great.
Yeah, well, fine.
We didn't capsize.
Well done.
No pressure, is he?
No, I'm so scared. Any tips for me to not
Trust Georgie. Sorry,
my road dog?
Trust Rob.
Should I trust Rob?
I wouldn't either.
Great. Okay.
Right, so
Right, lovely. See you later. Sorted.
So Georgie, let's start off. Tell me why you love rowing so much. What appeals? What does it appeal to?
Okay, yeah, a lot of people ask this question because rowing doesn't seem that appealing with like the amount of blisters and messed up hands you get. But I started rowing about 6-7 years ago. I never liked it when I first started. My mum bullied me to do it because she used to row, and then I hated it, but I've just got into it over the years, and I'm really happy to be incoming women's captain now. And it's just something I love. I mean, like the tan lines are horrendous, especially from these all-in-ones. But it's just really nice. It's nice being out on the river, and it's also the sense of like community because we all work as a team, and then just like getting the boat moving in a race, especially in like an 8 when you're all powering along. It's just so satisfying. And
When there's so many people in a boat, like racing an 8, that you'll probably be doing at the Durham Regatta.
Yeah.
How long does it take to trust all of those people in the boat so you know on race day
oh gosh.
that you're going to perform?
I don't think I have full trust at any time, but you try. It's just a matter of training. So like we've been trying to really up our training program the past few weeks to get us ready for Hexham, which is coming weekend, and then Durham Regatta the weekend after. And it's just maintaining consistency in the squad attendance, and then just trying to like you do loads of different drills and balancing techniques. And like we did earlier when we were at the water together, it's just taking time to build it up so the first person's confident, and then the next person can follow on. And it's all about leading. So the person who stroke, always you just follow stroke. So yeah, if in doubt.
If in doubt, follow stroke. It's a motto. When you're out on the water, what is the most difficult thing? When you're out on the water, is it turning? Is it the speed? Is it maintaining consistency? What would you say is the most difficult thing?
This time of year, the most difficult thing is definitely the Browns boats. As we nearly hit one earlier, they're just a nightmare because they're often tourists who have no idea about the rules of the river. They'll just drift in front of you, and for example, we were doing a sprint piece the other day in an 8, and they just decided to go straight across the path, and you're like, just don't. So they're probably the worst. And also swans. I've had quite a few angry swans back at home who have climbed on my boat and have hissed at me or flown really close over to me so I can feel their beat of their wings. So animals and Browns boats, not to be done. Everything else is piece of cake, you're fine.
You want a nice quiet river all to yourself.
Yeah, that's why rowers like the early mornings, because as soon as we get out, there's nobody else around and it's just peace to yourself, so definitely.
Talk to me about what they're doing so far. How does it look like Izzy's doing?
She's doing really well, yeah. She's obviously probably not doing as best as you because I took you earlier. But no, she's doing really well. Rob's just sitting the boat now, keeping the blades flat on the water so she can perfect her stroke. So it's basically just really focusing about going up the slide consistently, popping the blades in and then taking a clean stroke. They are heading for the weir now.
Yeah, I guess with the position of the University College Boat Club, that weir must be pretty tricky at the best of times.
I mean, considering we've been here for so long, you'd have thought we'd have probably had first dibs on the selection of boat clubs, but no, we're right by the river, right by the weir, which is an absolute nightmare when you're turning an 8 because you really don't have much of a turning circle. But Rob's handled that much better than I did earlier because we did get quite close. But yeah, rowing's just really about repetitive training, and it's just about getting used to how your blade responds to the water. So, and in different conditions, like the wind picks up and your blade can lift a little bit and make you unbalanced. So it's all about trial and error and then getting into it. And once you're into it, it's quite good.
And what will Rob be trying to get Izzy to do now? Would you think they'll be working on speed or focusing a little bit more on technique?
I'm hoping technique, but knowing Rob, it probably will be speed because any chance to outdo me, he will try. But yeah, I think it's just right now he's probably just explaining to her how to place her blades cleanly in the water. So she's just going up to the position of a catch right now, just so she knows whereabouts her blades will set. And then once she's at the catch, the blades will go squared and buried, and then she'll sink into the catch, pull with her arms and drive with her legs and take the stroke. Apart from her blade is backwards right now, but...
She'll work that out in a minute.
Oh, was he teaching her backing down? Oh, I didn't do that with you. I focused on the looks with us.
Thanks.
The looks.
No one has capsized yet.
Yeah, I did pack a towel. So just in case.
Did you have high hopes for us, or were you pretty convinced we were both going in?
I hadn't thought about it too much because it was kind of a bit scared me, but you did do a lot better than I expected.
So Georgie, speak to me now about what they're doing as they go back up the river.
So by the looks of things, Rob's trying to get them to do some form of piece, so increasing the rate, increasing the pressure. And again, as Lars and I are now just doing some practices on getting the blade cleanly into the water, taking a really clean stroke, and also focusing on puddles. That's one of the really important things. Once you take a stroke, you see like the puddles of water that form afterwards, and it's basically, as a rower, you're trying to get as clean as possible for each stroke. You don't really want to get any backsplash coming from that. So yeah, she's doing actually really, really well. I'm quite surprised. I'm surprised they're not in the water yet. I was expecting that, but no, it's looking really, really good.
So Georgie, we can see the Prince Bishop coming down the river now as Rob and Izzy head up down it. What challenge is this going to pose to them?
You just got to try and keep out of the way because Prince Bishop will just keep going. They won't really have much remorse in direction they're moving. I mean, back at home we had a similar kind of ship on our boat on our river, and they just keep going really. Hopefully the 8 will get in before Prince Bishop comes down because it will do its turning circle about here. But it's just making sure you're staying on the right side of the river. I think they've just avoided them quite nicely. But yeah, it's just difficult when you've got lots of different users on the river, trying to make sure that there's no collisions or anything. But yeah.
Izzy, you were phenomenal. How was it?
It was really cool, but really hard. Like, you keep like putting it in, and I kept catching crabs. I think was that what I was doing? Yeah, I was catching a lot of crabs, but it was cool. It was really fun. I see why Ro's gone about the stuff. Like,
Well, you seem really confident. Did you feel like you picked it up really quickly?
no, I kept messing it up. I would just I'd hear nice, slow down, slow down.
And you got very, very close to the weir. Was there any tension? Any sense of fear?
Well, Rob was very nice and let me spin, which I think might have been why we were so close to the weir. But yeah, it was okay. Said hi to the pelican, which felt cool.
He was really, really good. Fantastic.
Amazing. Do you think you'll ever row again?
I actually kind of would. Is that bad? No.
Right. But now you've got to get out of the boat, which, you know, the entertaining part. Well, we did it. Rob, how did we do?
Fantastic. Far, far better than expected.
Georgie, are we regatta ready?
I actually think you could be, yeah, with a bit more training, a bit more time on the water, 100%. You were very good, yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
I'll take it.
Brilliant. I've been Izzy.
I've been Georgie.
Then Rob.
I've been Sydney, and you've been watching
Pal TV.
These boats are going to be cleaner than when they came out.
I know. We're doing real class.
Yeah.